Let's listen to what fucking shit they've got to say today.
Hello and a warm welcome. You're watching BBC News. I'm Sean Lay with the latest on the coronavirus outbreak in the UK and around the world. Do stay with us. The UK government and teachers' unions should stop squabbling and agree to a plan to reopen schools in England safely. That's the message today from the Children's Commissioner for England, who says
reopen schools safely.
Are losing out most from schools.
No, just keep the scaremongering up still.
Teachers, leaders,
why use the word safely?
Scientific advisors Friday to seek assurances over safety.
It's easy, just open them up. What's fucking safe about it?
Reopen. Government wants that to begin with a phased reopening of primary schools in England from the 1st of June. There are no current plans to open schools in the other parts.
Yeah, they've got to phase everything in because they fucking look like dicks if they rush everyone in. Because too many questions will start being asked.
And country parks. Despite the easing of lockdown rules in England, councils in beauty spots are worried that a surge in visitors could result in a rise in coronavirus infection.
A rise? Never seen a rise from day one.
Its economy. Italy has announced plans to lift its
There's been more fucking rises in fucking hard-on since fucking this coronavirus.
From Italy, as well as between different regions of that country. In the United States,
Well, that's probably no exaggeration.
Will reopen, vaccine or no vaccine, but he has announced an objective to deliver a coronavirus jab by the end of this year, what he calls Operation Warp Speed. Football fans in Germany and around the world are eagerly awaiting today's results.
Picture's a little bit blurred, folks, because I've lowered the setting because it records too big of a file.
All games, though, will be played behind closed doors. More now on those comments from the
Isn't it disgusting what they're doing on us, eh? I mean, I'm not a football fan, but people who are must be going it up the fucking wall, pulling their hair out. They must be.
I've been really disappointed over the last week as the whole kind of debate descended into what I will call a squabble, and the positions have really become entrenched. And I fear that actually the best interests of children, which is what we're all meant to be looking at within this debate, are being overlooked. I don't think we're ever going to get to the stage without a vaccine that this is going to be 100% safe. But I think what we can see from where schools have
propaganda spin it, another one pushing for the vaccine.
With nurseries that have stayed open,
is there anyone who can come on telly, on the news, and just say, shove your vaccine up your arse? No. They're all selected perfect people, or else they won't even make it to the fucking newsreel.
Morning to you, Jessica. This all got quite nasty midweek, didn't it, when Gavin Williamson, the Education Secretary of England, suggested that the teachers' unions maybe were scaremongering.
Yeah, he did use the word scaremongering in the House of Commons, and actually subsequently I
interviewed
him
scaremongering.
who was he specifically referring to there, but he didn't want to.
That's exactly what this campaign's been all about from day one.
That, as you say,
scare the holy shit out of the public,
rumbled on over the past week,
so they get fear to fucking death, stay indoors.
Roadmap for easing lockdown, a conditional
so they can achieve the fucking end result and the end goal, what they wanted from day one.
Return for primary schools, reception years 1 and year 6.
It's all been a game to the fucking government.
Saying, they have safety concerns for their members, teachers, and they want more
now they know they've achieved it because stupid, gullible masses have stayed indoors.
And left saying that
they know they can get away with it now because they've achieved it anytime they want.
They felt there were
and they could do it at back end of this year again. Oh, phase 2's come back.
The National Education Union's Kevin Courtney has been saying to the BBC this morning.
Phase 2's come back.
That schools would only open
we better go in lockdown.
Tests are passed, and we aren't clear what those tests are. We think they're around the R rate, but we're really not clear what number they think they have to safely reopen schools. And what we know from Denmark is that when they opened their schools in a much better way than our government is proposing, we think, having studied it, but even then there are...
We think, having studied, what the fuck's this guy studied? If that guy studied through facts, he wouldn't even want to come on the fucking news.
Attached to hospitals, sort of to back up our
the facts are fucking studied, and everyone else with an open brain.
What she's saying
do you think you'd want to be given fucking 5 seconds on the fucking news?
Control the risk, and the government's saying actually that they have put out detailed guidance.
They want no part with this fucking load of trash.
Measures that schools can take in order to make the environment safer. So we're talking about things like staggered break times, a limit to class sizes, no more than 15 children, And then this idea of
Listen at this shit. Can you believe it?
Making sure that one class
Mind
of
you,
15
you can,
children
can't
does
you?
not end up mingling with another class of 15 children. All measures to try and halt the possible transmission of the virus.
There is no
in schools
transmission.
environments. I think what Anne Longfield,
There is no transmission, you
appointed by the
stupid
government to
bitch.
stand up for children's rights. What she's trying to do, I think, is bang heads together. She's saying, look, government,
Seen no
unions,
transmission from
teachers,
day one.
they all need to get round the table and talk, because what really matters here is the children, and she's particularly concerned about vulnerable children. She's saying it's really important that
Vulnerable children?
get
We're
back
all
to school
vulnerable.
as quickly as
Not just
possible.
children, we're all vulnerable.
Against the idea of getting children back into school, but they want to be sure that
Society's being abused right now. On back end of a shoestring fucking bogus coronavirus
From
hoax.
the 3rd of June, it's a significant change for a country that imposed one of the world's most rigid coronavirus lockdowns and has suffered significant loss of life. More than 31,000 Italians have died of COVID-19
Oh, get
since the end of
fucked.
February.
Get
But the
fucked.
infection rate has fallen quickly. Our reporter Freya Cole has more.
31,000, but it fell quickly.
Opening up. Preparations are underway to welcome people back to the Mediterranean for the start of the European summer. But there's still a lot of uncertainty.
With the measures that will be imposed, according to rumours, because we still don't know what they'll be, we risk having 30 to 35% fewer umbrellas.
Tourist operators are planning as much as they can. Everything could change if there's a second wave of infection.
Hey up. You know he's
From
going to
June
come.
3rd, the government plans to
I'll predict it
reinstate
now.
free movement
I'll predict
around the
it now.
country. Holidays will
At
be
some
allowed,
point this year,
but
we're going to get a second wave. Because they're talking about it.
We've only had 2 overnight stays.
They don't say something unless it's going to happen.
The newly published government decree
Remember that,
also
folks.
reveals plans to open
Always
national
double
borders.
think.
But it's unclear what restrictions will be put on international travellers. Already at airports,
I don't own a
in Rome,
passport, so I'm not
thorough cleaning
asked.
is taking place, as well as temperature checks at customs. It is a gradual process.
I mean, what the
Monday,
fuck's that
beauty
shit
salons,
they're spraying?
shops and restaurants are allowed to
Could be
open.
just fucking water being
Business
misted out.
looks very
Likely
different.
is.
Tables
Scaremongering.
2 metres apart, and there's more cleaning than
Look
ever
at this shit.
The challenge is huge, so big it is hard to quantify, and most of all there is uncertainty.
He's clearly been
But
suckered,
we're used
wearing
to
a
working
mask.
hard, rolling up our sleeves and providing the best for our customers.
Italians have waited more than 2 months to share their love of food with others. But the new era will come with
And
new
we all.
traditions. Freya Cole,
I've been waiting for everything to
News.
get back normal for 2 months.
Switzerland, Germany and Austria are starting to relax border restrictions from this weekend. Along with France, they're hoping to fully reopen later in June. From today, friends and family members divided by the border closures will be able to meet again. But tourists and shoppers are still barred from crossing.
Isn't it
frontiers
disgusting
with
that you're
all
waiting for
countries.
your leaders to
All
tell you
members
what to
of
do
the
in your
Schengen
life?
open border zone in
Like
Europe
being
shut their
back to
borders
when you was
in
about
March to
fucking 8 years
control
old,
the
innit?
spread of the coronavirus.
Can't believe I've
Now
lived
to
through
the
this
upper
nightmare
Bethany Bell,
in my own
in the
life.
Austrian capital,
And it has been a
Vienna, for
nightmare.
us. Bethany, Saturday, lovely weather by the look of the scene behind you, a time when people would want to move
Divided
freely.
people,
It must have
made
been a
people
frustrating
hate
few
people,
weeks for people
made
in
people
Austria
grass
and
on
in other
people.
countries.
snitching on people.
It's been very frustrating for people, but certainly here and in
Certainly
several
done
other
that, this
countries,
coronavirus,
there
and it
have
was
been,
to achieve the
quite
goal.
significant steps taken
People
over
policing
the last
people.
few weeks to try and ease those lockdowns. Here in Austria, for example,
I don't think
cafes
people's
and
minds will be back
restaurants
the same
yesterday.
on
For
how
the first
certain
time,
people
I had
think
my
about
first
society.
cup of coffee in a Vienna cafe for a couple of months.
One thing
So
I've found
there
is
the sense that things are beginning to ease
how
up. We've had
pathetically
Italy
stupid and
overnight
gullible society
saying,
truly is.
that it would,
I knew it was before, but fuck me.
to and from Italy as of June
Proved it even
the
more.
3rd, and we know that on Monday more businesses will be allowed to open there and people will be allowed to move around within their region.
People will
Also,
be allowed to move around.
conditions on a few borders in Europe easing up.
God, shouldn't you be
Germany,
so
for
appreciative
example,
just to
and
live?
Austria and Switzerland have eased the situation.
Thanks for
people,
giving us all the
wanting
lives
to
back when we all
cross
open up.
families, for example, although it's not completely open yet.
Suppose we'll have a
It's
clap
still
day
not
for that.
allowed. But step by step, very, very cautiously, governments are trying to restart Europe's economy again.
How much political damage has
They
this
didn't give a
caused to
fuck
the
about the
idea of
economy, or they wouldn't have done
common
it.
Europe?
You think governments were unaware that the economy will fucking suffer? Does anyone truly think that governments were unaware of that?
Countries at the moment,
They know what
for
they're
example,
doing.
If you take the question of
It's all been
border control,
orchestrated.
we've had guidance from the European Commission, but it's
Eventually they want you to become dependent on the state and pay you a pittance of a fucking wage. Like a dole benefit, everybody.
To try and ease the conditions.
I've already seen stuff on it a few years back.
It's you hear different things from different people.
Well, they trail tested it on
I can't say that there's one attitude
in one
towards
country
Europe,
of about 200 people for about 2 years, see how they could live on it.
There wasn't perhaps enough help from Europe earlier
Look it
on,
up, folks.
although now steps are being taken to try and deal with that. But
And the
it
government
is
pay
a
you
crisis, for
your
so
wage.
many ways, politically,
They own you.
and economically, and this is still very, very early days in terms of this.
Bethany Bell in Vienna. I'm glad you enjoyed the coffee. I think I might have gone for the Sachator to go with it, but thank you very much. Have a good day. Now in England,
Have a
stick
good
with
day
the
in your
rules
lockdown.
and don't take risks. That's the message from the Health Secretary Matt Hancock. during the
Don't
first
take risks.
weekend.
I've been living
Some
normal since
politicians
day
agreed.
fucking
Local
one.
Councils are warning people to stay away.
I haven't had a cough, a snotty nose, fuck
A
all.
surge of visitors will lead to an increase in infection. Comes after scientists revealed the
That's because there is fuck all.
infection measure across the UK.
Propaganda machine is here, what you're looking at now, the television. The biggest bullshit broadcasting corporation you can fucking find on television.
They follow the distancing rules. They don't want to see a repeat of these scenes from March. With warm weather on the way and the resumption of travel in England, resorts across the country are worried that day trippers may bring more than just their suntan lotion. But ministers in London say they trust the public's common sense.
Like PK calls it,
with the good weather,
slip, slap,
and
slop.
the new rules, I
Suntan
hope
lotion.
you can enjoy being outside, but please stick with the rules. Keep an eye on your family. And don't
Rules.
take risks.
Keep an eye on your
There's
family.
been another 384 deaths from COVID-19 across the country.
And what the fuck does keeping an eye on your family? If this was truly a coronavirus,
Travel ban remains
how the fuck do you stop
outside
someone
England,
catching a
and
virus by keeping an eye on them?
already warned tourists to stay away.
Can anyone please answer that question?
Urging visitors to give
So you go down to the beach
spots a miss,
and
it's
you
a
just
similar
keep your eye on your
message from
family,
Brighton to Whitby.
and that stops them getting the virus, does
In
it?
Scarborough are not just worried about the virus.
Everyone gets a fucking cold every year, and you've kept an eye on them all year
Or
round.
indeed on any across the UK.
They just chat fucking utter garbage.
The overall rate
Can you
of
believe this
infection has
fucking
crept up
bullshit?
to between
What they
0.7
talk, can you?
and 1. If it goes above 1, it means the virus begins to spread again. There are geographical variations. London has a lower rate than Wales and Northern Ireland, and it's thought the uptick may be down to hospitals and care homes rather than the wider community.
If you sat in a room opposite all your family, all on the seats,
Million leisure journeys to be made by car.
all year round for a year,
Further rise in the infection
do you think
rate,
you can stop them
rates
getting
may come on again
a cold?
in the next few weeks.
and look into their mind and predict that they might get a cold just because you've been watching them for a year, sat opposite them?
Joins us now, Malcolm. It's good
That's
to
how
speak to you
stupid
again.
his
Thanks very
fucking
much for
comment
being
was
with
right
us.
there.
Normally this time of the year you've been fighting off visitors, or at least trying to control the numbers and get the roads flowing and all the rest of it. Must be a very different picture this weekend. But is there any sign yet that the easier the lockdown rules allowing people to travel?
These are people running your fucking country, these fucking dickheads saying this shit.
Unfortunate incident on Thursday with somebody who came down from Leicester with a kayak, went out to sea, and actually was very lucky to be rescued by the RNLI, and that actually incurred the RNLI having to be very close to our British lifeboatmen. So our message really is, think twice, but also the fact that this is about getting out to have exercise, getting out to have the great outdoors and some fresh air somewhere different. You don't have to
You
travel
just
that
said
far
it,
to
folks,
do that.
fresh air.
We shouldn't be travelling more than half an hour.
Well, you're in fresh air with a mask on covering your fucking face, so ditch your mask.
Weekend.
You say that, but the government has said, from Wednesday of this week, you could travel anywhere in England. I mean, do you think that message has perhaps been either not properly communicated or perhaps was the wrong message at this time?
Well, I think there was also the message made clearly by the Prime Minister about use some common sense, and I think what they didn't want to do is put a hard limit on it.
Fuck me, use common sense.
42 minutes.
We're all being branded conspiracy theorists and Tim Potted for using common sense. Now he's telling you use common sense.
As we say, think twice. If you come down,
He needs to elaborate which common sense he's referring to.
3 or 4 hours to the coast. First of all, many of the toilets aren't open. The lifeguards aren't on the beach.
I'm not asked if toilets are open. If I went beach, I'll just fucking have a shit on the fucking beach.
Abilities, very strong reading abilities.
And then go into fucking sea and fucking wash your ass.
Stuff isn't open, so
Problem solved.
Great to see you back when we're open fully, but at the moment it would actually be a limited experience, and particularly if you have to travel a long way.
I wasn't born with a spoon up my ass.
We've also got 500,000 people in Cornwall.
Back to fucking bare basics when I was brought up.
You know, the message is, please don't go somewhere more local, come back later on when you can.
What estimate have you made about the damage?
Not that I go to the beach often anyway.
The economy thus far in the lockdown. I appreciate that kind of March start is not generally peak times for Cornwall. There's still a lot of visitors who come at almost every weekend of the year.
There are, and it's around about to the end of this month to be about 300 million. And if things move on, and we're expecting.
Well, there'll be even more, won't there, after this lockdown?
And we're up to about 5.
They feel like they've fucking been born again.
Worth of economic damage.
How pathetic though that is, isn't it? Forget society thinking in that manner. That you've been born again just because you've been given your freedom back from a government that should never have took it away from you in the first place.
We're having to all sort of take the pain to get on top of this virus.
Like I say, I'm shocked I've even lived through this nightmare.
Worth it in the end. Thanks very much for
It's
joining us.
fucking one big joke.
Visit Cornwall. I'm saying really, don't visit Cornwall, not just now.
And the joke's on all you fucking fools for fucking soaking it up.
Action returns in Europe in a few hours' time with the first German Bundesliga match. Games will be devoid of fans with strict regulations in place. These include modest goal celebrations, players not shaking hands, still less hugging and kissing after the final whistle. Officials from other European countries will be watching closely to see if the safety protocols work. Also,
no hugging, no kissing.
Jenny Hill, who's in Dortmund.
That'll affect all the gays bad, that will.
Stadium where they'll be entertaining Schalke this afternoon.
That'll affect all the gays badly, that.
The public reaction.
They'll be offended more than out.
That's a very interesting.
Some of them are not fucking shouting out, fucking some sort of homophobic fucking rants.
To kick off, not a fan inside.
Not allowing fucking kiss.
Into the stadium for these so-called ghost games.
Homophobic, that is.
Echoing
Out of order.
The arena, no fans cramming through the turnstiles. And interestingly, polls suggest that actually the majority of
where are they now?
In favour of the Bundesliga resuming so soon, which is
having their homophobic rants over a comment like that.
It's going to be the rest of this season. Very different for the players, of course. They'll be playing to those empty stadia. There are questions about their match fitness. They've just had a 2-month enforced break from pretty much all training. Very different for teams too, expected to quarantine for a week before they play the matches, expected to stick to those social distancing rules, by and large off the pitch.
Social distance still being plugged in it.
Whether the season might not have to be broken off again. Already players and staff at some clubs have tested positive, others have been seen
have they fuck
regulations, like the coach who's had to stand down temporarily because he nipped out of the team hotel to go and buy a tube of toothpaste.
Jenny Hill in there at the Borussia Dortmund stadium. It's going to be interesting. I know you'll be watching. Let's see what the score's like and what the atmosphere is like, if any. For now, thanks very much. So what's the future for large-scale events? Will large-scale music festivals and other major sporting events ever be the same again? We're going to be putting your
Fuck me, that's worrying when he puts out a statement like that, innit?
3 o'clock BST, that's 4 o'clock GMT.
Will music events and things like that ever be the same again?
For the next few hours, the hashtag BBC Your Questions on Twitter, or you can email
Bill Gates' quotes, innit?
At bbc.co.uk.
Things will never be the same unless you roll your sleeve up and get that fucking jab.
The House of Representatives have passed a $3 trillion
nanotechnology
bill. If enacted, it will be the largest fiscal boost to the US economy so far, all because of coronavirus. The bill made it through a narrow vote in the House of Representatives. 14 Democrats broke ranks with their party to oppose the plan. The proposed HEROES Act, as it's been dubbed by the Democrats, would see the direct payments being sent to households in the US increase to as much as $6,000. A third of spending would go to the budgets of state and local government. State governors have warned they've been significantly depleted as a result of the virus. The legislation includes a raft of other pledges, including $3.6 billion fund to vote by mail in November's presidential election. The bill will face an uphill struggle to pass the Republican-controlled Senate. Senior Republicans have already dismissed proposals as a liberal wish list. But now House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has rejected their calls to wait and see before committing to new spending.
Now some of the members say, let's take a pause. Let's take a pause? Do you think this virus is taking a pause? Do you think that the rent takes a pause? Do you think that putting food on the table or the hunger that comes if you can't takes a pause?
I listened to what Speaker Pelosi told your conference to go big. Instead of going big, it seems you went crazy. This is a political messaging bill that has no chance of becoming law.
That situation in the US House of Representatives. Let's turn to Greece now, where beaches are beginning to reopen Saturday for locals as lockdown measures begin to ease across the country. Greece went into lockdown 6 weeks ago after the first coronavirus-related death was recorded there.
One thing this is proven, folks, is every country is being pulled by the strings from those above, those at the top of the pyramid, the Bilderbergers. If you didn't know it before, you know it now.
Moratis is the owner of the Moratis Beach Resort.
Who's got the power to tell all different countries to follow suit?
Now in Athens. How's it been this morning?
It's a very nice day. It's one unusually hot day. It's close to 40 degrees. The people are on the beach. It's very nice for swimming. As you can see at the back, the sea is flat. It's very nice.
They're quite strict rules, aren't there? How have your team been applying these?
Look, we follow the rules. We don't use our umbrellas yet. I mean, if somebody comes on the beach, he brings his umbrella and his chair, and the beach bars works only take away. The people follow the rules, and we have very good results until now.
There were reports that people were queuing very early this morning to get on the beaches because they wanted to ensure they would get a space, because presumably
queuing, you can believe that.
It's nothing like as busy
2
as
meters
it would
apart.
be allowed to be.
Yeah, but as you know, we are very lucky because here in Greece we have a lot of kilometers of beach, and there is no problem. I mean, we can keep a distance very easily. This beach here, it's a marathon. It's a marathon bay.
Who would have thought in the history of your life you'd be told when you can or can't go to your local fucking beach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we win.
You win, and it's great.
Governments have overstepped the mark, in my
How
opinion.
important is it going to be to you to get tourists back during the summer? And I raised the question because
Don't know if anyone else has had this feeling, same as me, but
anyone who leaves the country this summer,
nothing's it's devalued everything to me.
for 2 weeks after they come back.
Life itself is just devalued. Nothing seems as good as anything anymore
It's
to
a
me.
big price to pay if they come for their 2 week summer holiday and have to stay at home for another 2 weeks.
Everyone and everything can be stopped at a click of a finger. That makes everything worthless.
We lose May, June.
Life itself.
For July, you have also in your country very good, much better results. And then it's going to be not so strict. I mean,
And you've got people coming on telly just
the plane is the problem, and if you
making out everything's been the norm and it's been worth it and it should have happened.
It's very safe. The temperature and everything works.
It was right to lock down different countries.
To solve the problems.
Dimitris Moraitis, thank you so much.
Anyone who
Good luck
thinks
with
it's
everything,
fucking
and
absolutely
it's lovely
normal,
to see the beach back to life again.
I don't know what you're thinking, because it doesn't.
Stay safe.
It's never been normal to me.
Now, scientists in the UK have begun a trial of sniffer dogs to see if they can be trained to detect the presence of coronavirus before symptoms appear.
Shame these dogs can't sniff out fucking bullshit.
£1 of investment for the UK government, with the hope that if the scheme works, each dog would be able to
Get his
screen
sniffing
around
round fucking
50 people an hour. Dogs already able
Boris
to
Johnson and those in government.
Cancer, malaria, and Parkinson's. Truly, man's best friend. You're watching.
Fuck me, one thing he said right. Man's best friend, it's fucking true that. My dog's been my fucking best friend in this fucking coronavirus outbreak.
Now it's time for a look at the weather prospects. Here's Chris Ford.
That's it, folks.
Hello there. For many of us, it has been quite a cloudy start to the day, but we have seen some breaks in the cloud.
Like you just said there at the end, man's best friend. At least I've had my dog talk to when I've been going on walks. Out in countryside near me, I've got a lovely countryside where I walk. I've uploaded a couple of videos of me on these walks. And it does wonders for your mind, being out in countryside. If you've got countryside near you, I advise you just go and do it. Don't think about it, just go and do it. Get out there. Even if you have to sit down somewhere and, you know, gather your thoughts and have a think. Get your head round all this fucking bullshit if it's been destroying your head like it's been getting in my fucking head, man. Absolute madness. It's all unfolding now slowly. The bullshit. I mean, I've been following, I forgot one person's name on YouTube. I've been following him. He's in the States. And he's been filming daily. Where they'd set up in this park. Some of you might know. And they've been set up there for so-called coronavirus overspill, probably from the hospitals. Mass fucking casualties. What were we told? Like World War II. Which was a disgrace in itself to even suggest that. And it's filmed now that all the tents and everything there have all packed up and they've gone. It's funny that he approached, in one of his latest videos, approached a couple of people there and said, what's happened to the circus? I found that funny. As the circus left, he said. Which really is true, it's literally what it was. All the footage he filmed was just people sat around on the mobile phones, roaming around, talking, as though they'd gone to a music festival or something. It came, nothing happened, and they packed up and left. If that doesn't tell you that this coronavirus was absolutely fucking bullshit and a hoax, nothing will. I'll put a link in the description for his site for those who don't, who he is, like, for those who don't know. And just check his videos throughout. I'm most appreciated for this guy's efforts in what he's been doing. It does take time to do all the recordings. His videos have been an hour and a half long. Some of it can be boring of him just riding down the street like, but I suppose it is what it is and everyone does what they do, don't they? Anyway, that was this morning's fucking roundups of the British Bullshit Corporation news. Thanks to all of you who've been interested in me uploads. I don't claim to be Mr. Big, I'm just the average Joe blogs like anyone else. None of this fucking Patreon shit and all that crap. Right.